Hi, Filmatics. Thanks for tuning in today. We have a very special guest, Larry Degala, who is an award winning producer, creative, known for the series Vampire Games, the dark fantasy Ellenheim.
El-
I hope I said that right.
Elvin.
Elvenheim, and the sci fi love story All My Shades of Blue. Larry's transmedia can be seen at Tapas Media and Naver Webtoon. Larry, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Marilyn. I really appreciate coming on the show. I've listened to several of your podcasts, and I do love it. I'm an addict now.
Oh, great, great. So, Larry, what is your favorite movie?
I have several favorite ones, but there is one that comes to mind. Not a lot of people have heard of it. It's by director Yoji Yamada. He's from Japan, and the title is Twilight Samurai. You can look that up on Wikipedia. I started an entry a long time ago, and I thought it was going to be a kind of a slow burn of a TV soap opera, but it turned out it was really intense. I emotionally got invested into it, and it's a great psychological drama. I highly recommend it.
Oh, it sounds amazing. So that's Twilight Samurai. I love that. I even have my own little samurai story on my podcast, Enchanting Book Reading. So I'm a big fan. So I hope our listeners check out. How do you say his name? Yoji Yamada, right?
Yoji Yamada.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And so, I love Criterion films, and I know you do too. I was wondering, is there a Criterion movie that inspired you to become a producer?
Gosh, there's a lot of Criterion titles out there, over 2,400 of them. But there's this one title in 1985 that I believe should be a Criterion film. The title is Runaway Train with John Voight. And it's just a great screenplay. The screenplay was originally written by Japanese director Akira Kurosawa.
Oh, amazing. He's amazing. Yes, yes.
Yes. In 1966, he announced that he would make Runaway Train for Embassy Pictures with a budget of $5.6 million. But because of the investors, he kind of went on to do Tora Tora Tora, and it never happened. Well, in 1984, actually in 1982, Nippon Herald owned the rights to it. And they said, well, the auction's going to run out. We need somebody. And they approached Francis Ford Coppola and his producer, Tom Luddy, to suggest a film director. And this film director they suggested was Andrei Konchalovsky. And so they went on to make the 1985 indie actioner with John Voight and Eric Roberts.
Oh, amazing. Oh, I wish Akira could have directed it, but you love the Runaway Train action,
Yes.
A good action. Was it a mystery on that one or just an action thriller?
Well, it's a crime drama where two escapees have broken out of the Alaska jail. It's sort of a remote prison in Alaska, and there's themes that we don't have. We do have it. We just don't emphasize it in Hollywood of humanism and existentialism. It's sort of like you lift this drama into high art, sort of like Victorian drama, Shakespearean drama, because Akira Kurosawa does a lot of Shakespeare, like, for example, Ron. And he was using humanism and existentialism. I guess use the words slice of life. And so you have this fella, he's not a nice guy, but, he's trying to gain his freedom. And so you kind of see more into a three-dimensional character. And this was also the acting debut of Danny Trejo and Tommy Tiny Lister. Tiny Lister passed away recently due to the COVID, so I'm wishing solemn condolences to his family.
Yeah, the COVID is just taking so many lives, and so many people are sick. So praying for everyone out there. Do be careful, everyone. It is contagious. Yeah. So yeah. And but on I was just wondering, like, have you done any directing yet? And could you tell us some of your favorite directors with their film shots?
I've directed a feature film that went to the Amsterdam Film Festival. It took Best Thriller back in 2015. This was for Killers at Play. Again, it's like a psychological crime drama.
Congratulations! So wow,
thank you.
Killers at
Yes.
Play won at the Amsterdam Festival. That's amazing. Congratulations! I love it.
Thank you. And my favorite director, I have to say Jean-Pierre Jeunet, director of Amelie.
I love that film. Love it.
But for the film that I really admire is his Delicatessen back in 1991. And gosh, that's just a visual circus of a movie. It's just it tells stories like a fairy tale, and I enjoy that a lot. Favorite scene was this comical sex scene where you have this whole apartment complex full of characters running around, and they and then the bouncing bed mattress was making this music, and everyone's to that rhythm, and it's just very, very funny. You've got to see this movie, Delicatessen, if you can find it.
Oh, lovely. Yes, that's a great one. And I heard that your favorite line from a movie. Can you tell us?
Oh gosh. This favorite line, it's sort of like an evolving meme before we got the interweb. It starts out as a quote and then it becomes a misquote every time. And this quote comes from Brazil, the Terry Gilliam movie Brazil, where you have Bill from Department of Works. He comes in and into Mr. Tuttle's apartment. He says, "Mistakes? We don't make mistakes." And that's sort of like a reference to back in 1948. There's this film, The Treasure of Sierra Madre, where you have a Mexican bandit says, "Badges? We don't need no stinking badges."
I love it. Those are great ones.
And then it happens again on Mel Brooks's Blazing Saddles, 1974. "Badges? We don't need no stinking badges."
No stinking badges. I
Yes.
love it. Yes. So that was mistakes. We don't make mistakes. So Terry Gilliam's Brazil, also another fabulous film. Yes. So yeah, and also have you done any acting at all? Were you ever an actor?
I have some acting experience. It's like where I got started out was basically behind the camera. I was kind of shy. I really thought, well, I don't want to be in the limelight because there's others who who are more qualified, or I feel that, well, I couldn't be in front of the camera. But eventually I ended up being on the other side. I said, what's the harm? It's going to happen eventually. I'm going to end up on the other side of the camera. So I've done some, just it's not a lot of major roles, just, been on different sets, $100 million sets, etc.
Nice.
Safe, do no harm television show, pilots, etc. Even indie films. I'd be on indie films as a
Yeah.
doctor.
Oh, nice. And so
Yeah.
you actually went to film school, right? At Brooklyn College.
That's correct. I went to Brooklyn College 4 years. I got a summa cum laude, and I was awarded for scholastic excellence the Edward R. Murrow Award. And from there, I really got my start like working on the Avid Media Composer back in '91. Now I'm dating myself. Back in '91, they came out with this computer that edited VHS quality video, and then you can go online and cut the broadcast tapes according to your edit decision list. And so, yeah, the computer geeks had at us, beginning students, and I learned Avid Media Composer just when it first came out of the assembly line from some garage. So it's just great. It's a nice long run. And then I worked on TV shows in New York in the '90s. I was one of the camera operators for the New York Stock Exchange chairman, Richard Grosso. I don't know if you know him, but he had lectures at Ivy League schools like Princeton. He'd lecture there, and I'd be there with a camera. And then around 1995, I came to Las Vegas, and I was climbing billboards, designing billboards for the casinos, etc.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
a lot of photoshopping for their outdoor advertising. And then I got into YouTube and documentary work. And then Killers at Play came along back in 2015. Won it. It was like 30 days of shoot, 6 months to edit, and then Amazon Prime. It had its run on Amazon for a while. It's currently looking around for distribution.
Oh, nice. And so, but I want everyone to know that your Killers at Play won the Van Gogh Award for Best Thriller in Amsterdam. So congratulations for that, because writing is such it takes a long time to write something great and something that like the audiences like. So congratulations. My ultimate respect to writers. Just they are the core of every film and TV show out there. Without writers, where would we be? Yeah. And so what was there any difficult or challenging times when you went on the path to become a producer, filmmaker?
Well, you've got to start out from the beginning. Everyone tells you got to start somewhere. So you can't just be like a producer overnight. You snap your fingers and then boom, you're a producer. You've got to prove yourself, get in the trenches, show your worth. So I guess the most difficult challenge has been trying to move up. Like I did camera work, I did editing, I did assistant producer. Drive the guests around to set, back from set, get them bagels, what have you. I started from the beginning, but I guess the most difficult challenge was that trying to get people interested in your stories. Maybe I was just too naive in the beginning. I was too sensitive. Maybe I wanted things to move faster, but I found that things started happening if I didn't care too much, like getting so, wound up. No, you just got to relax and let go, let it happen. So much of my artistic endeavors as a creative tends to be less Hollywood formula, less commercial driven, but more indie film, approach. Like if there's a story, it's unique, I like it, let's develop it. I'll go with that. Versus it's got to be like the way so and so likes it, or it's got to be a formula that J.J. Abrams uses all the time. Maybe there's too many of that competing, and I need to work on my strengths versus strong arm the competition, who is probably way better, or have a shoe in over me. So it's more your effort rather than luck. Just keep at it, and you'll be good at it.
Yeah. And so you had a spectacular year in 2020. I'm just going to tell our audience. While most of us were, sipping on drinks and binge watching on Amazon or Hulu, um, Larry in September 2020 had a win for the Outstanding Achievement Award at the Williamsburg International Film Festival for Elevenheim. And also, Vampire Screenplay made the official selection in November, December. And All My Shades of Blue Screenplay made the official selection in September. So you did basically a trifecta win here with your screenplay. So congratulations.
Yes.
I mean, that's spectacular. And you weren't sitting around. I'm sure everyone was drinking something, hot cocoa or a hot toddy, and binge watching. But also, it's a good time to create because let's face it, we're sitting around at home and we have lots to talk about because we haven't been able to talk to very many friends except for on Zoom or listening to podcasts, talk shows. So, a really spectacular job. Can you talk about okay? So, Elevenheim is a dark sci-fi fantasy, right?
Elvenheim is, I can give you the log line.
Okay, sure.
Sure. Okay. Two sorceresses, one from the Ogre Nation and one from the Elven Nation, vie for the prophesied one, who turns out to be this regular girl from high school in this planet called Earth. And so the ogre and the elven sorceresses contest for the prophesied one, and so it's a love story, And then with the win in September 2020, I decided, you know what, it's time to write part two, and so I wrote part two in October and entered the 130 pages in November. I won Best Screenplay in the Los Angeles Motion Picture Film Festival.
Congratulations, yeah. And those were screenplays, yeah. Because I'm a big fantasy science fiction person. I don't know if you know, I have a wizard series myself. So, yeah. So I'm a wizard girl too. So I love that, and I hope all the best for you. That a producer or network hears you and says, "Hey, Marilyn, who was that? I really want to give them a deal." So I'm hoping that someone calls us. And then, so while you're writing your screenplays, I hear you like a great drink. Can you tell us about your favorite drink called the pineapple tapachi? Since we can't go to bars or restaurants in Los Angeles, you're in Los Angeles, right?
I'm currently in Las Vegas right now, sheltering for the COVID.
Okay.
I'm in Las Vegas. And the thing with the pineapple tapachi is that it's easy to make. You don't need a distiller or, make your own moonshine. No, we're not making moonshine. But
I think a lot of people have been drinking moonshine or probably making moonshine.
Right. So basically, you take any fresh pineapple, it's already ripe, and then instead of throwing away the peels, everyone chops it all up and then toss the peels in the trash. No, you can use it. It's actually edible. You can take the peels and then you set them aside. You take 2 quarts of water, fresh water, and then pour in 2 tablespoons of honey, and then put the peels in. And you add star anise, cloves. I didn't have cloves at this time, so instead I did cinnamon and nutmeg. So I put that all in, and then dropped in the peels. And after 72 hours, you just let it sit in room temperature. You have the lid on it, of course. And after 72 hours, the whole thing ferments, and you get some kind of like a kombucha tea. I don't know if you know kombucha, but it's also it's a tea that just got fermented. That's all. So now you have a pineapple tea that got fermented in 72 hours. Tastes great. You toss it in the fridge. Serve it cold, and you can make your own pineapple tapachi at home.
I love that. I'm going to make that. That sounds delicious. And so, are you? I know that you've been working a lot during 2020. Is there anything that you're going to be working on in 2021 that's new for you? Are you probably looking to turn one of your films into a movie?
Okay. what I did in 2020 was that I took these screenplays and I developed them as transmedia. A lot of people don't aren't familiar with that term, transmedia. Well, basically, you take your story. It could become a novel. Some of these screenplays are like 20,000 words, 30,000 words, but novels are 5 times bigger than that. Like instead of 100 pages, you have 300 pages. Again, I was going through the approach with webtoons, web comics. So you'll find these titles on webtoons or Tapas Media, and I do a lot of inking because climbing billboards, painting billboards. I'll take the artwork and then I'll ink it out in full color, etc. And one title, I'm hoping that I could do the anime. I don't know if people know what anime is, but basically it's cartoons for young adult. That's all. Cartoons for young adult.
I love anime. They're really cool designs.
Yes.
So you're you're almost making your like comic book, getting ready for animation project or film project. Yeah, it sounds beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm so happy that you came on the show this year, and we are so happy to have you. And just
Thank you.
yeah, if you can just tell our listeners where they can catch up with you and find out your updates.
Yes, you can find out more about my transmedia titles by going to tapas.io and webtoons.com. Both of them have phone apps, and you can download these cartoons or web comics from the website. So you can go to Facebook, like and share Vampire Games, Elbenheim, and the Sci-Fi Love Story, All My Shades of Blue. See you in Mars.
Great. And also your Instagram is Larry.Degala, Degala. And I don't know if any people know mine, but mine is at Maryland Artist, and Maryland is Marylin Artist. But yeah, so you have amazing your Vampire Games. I'm excited about that. They can check that out on Amazon, right? Amazon Prime.
No, it's not a anime yet, but I'm working on it. But it's just a web comic for now.
Oh, okay. It's a web comic. Great. Yes. Well, it sounds like it should be a movie. I'm gonna have to work on that and pitch it to an executive. Well, Larry, thank you so much for coming on the show today, and just thank you for being our guest. You are super fabulous, and your screenplays are amazing.
Thank you, Marilyn. Be safe, be well, and have a great 2021.
Yes, and thank you, Film Addicts, for listening. And until next week, have a happy and healthy New Year. Stay safe. Thank you for listening, everyone.